Hello citizens and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the flow and economics of mining-focused organizations. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but the new Expanse concept ship and the accompanying Q&A gave me all the information I was missing. I'm going to go over some basic information about the Expanse and what we know about ship refining so far. And then I will go over my idea of what a mining-focused organization could look like in terms of fleet structure and operations. As always, if you like this video, sacrifice a like to the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more. And of course, here's a shout out to our amazing patrons for their support of the Armory and the channel. Patreon helps me feed my coffee addiction and pay for the Armory servers. If you don't know what the Armory is, what are you even doing? Go check it out at the link in the description and make your Star Citizen adventures easier. So, first let's talk about the Expanse and why this is important. The Expanse is a small, dedicated refinery ship. It has no mining capabilities, but from what we can tell, it does have a fairly powerful refinery on board, along with the necessary tools to transfer material from mining ships like the Mole and the Prospector. The Expanse is important because until now, we only had 3 ships with confirmed refining capabilities: the Orion, the Odyssey, and the Starfarer. However, only the Orion is capable of refining any raw materials like the Expanse, but it is years from being done, not to mention that the Orion is an all-in-one platform most likely meant to operate independently. On the other hand, the Starfarer and the Odyssey are only designed to refine fuels. This is useful but not very flexible. So how does this make the Expanse special? Well, it is extremely flexible and can support small to medium mining operations until we get a larger ship with similar capabilities. But most importantly, it has all the necessary tools to do so. The main drawback is that it has no separate storage from the saddlebags, so it will either have to fly back and forth between the mining area and the drop-off location for the refined materials, or require another ship for logistical support to take the refined materials away and bring back fresh saddlebags. But this should be more than offset by, according to CIG, very fast refining. Now, we don't know exactly how fast the refining will be, but CIG have stated that refining is an active process, so I would say it's going to take about as long as mining does. Also, you will be able to refine materials on the spot, so especially in the case of volatile materials like Quantanium, you'll be reducing your risks and losses. So, with all of this in mind, let's take a look at some options you would have to build a mining-focused fleet. You have to start with your basic working unit. Now, we're not exactly sure how fast the Expanse refining will be, but I'm guessing it will be able to refine as fast as mining ships are able to mine. So I decided to pair the Expanse up with mining ships that have the same total cargo capacity. But I think it's possible it will be able to refine much faster and might be able to support twice its cargo capacity. And of course, I'm going to round out the mining team with 2 sabers for protection. Of course, any light or medium fighter will do as long as you're operating within a reasonable distance from a station. If you're way out in the middle of nowhere, you would need to opt for heavy fighters or no fighters at all, because if you're truly far away from anything, you probably don't need to worry about being attacked as long as you set perimeter protection. Now, you can of course have as many of these mining teams operating in an area as you want and can protect. But they will need some support units, which is what we're going to take a look at next. Keep in mind that having more mining teams will require more of these support teams. For my logistics team, I opted for a Caterpillar and a pair of Cutlasses. Any equivalent ships would probably work equally well. My main reason for choosing the Caterpillar is that the side doors will make it very easy to load full saddlebags in space. And I have a feeling that eventually the Caterpillar will get a module to extract refined materials from saddlebags into cargo boxes. The reasoning behind the Cutlasses is similar. On top of that, they can also transport crew to rotate shifts on the mining ships. Also, the Cutlass is supposed to have a tractor beam, which could be beneficial when manipulating the saddlebags. Also, Drake ships are cheap to maintain and buy. Now, the logistics team is in a way optional. Its purpose is to transport full saddlebags to a landing zone for sale and bring empty bags back. You could of course have the Expanse do this, but I think if you want to maximize your profits, it makes more sense to keep the refinery near the mining ships. My example scenario expects the fleet to be mining in a semi-remote area, so I decided to include a support team as well. I decided to go with a Starfarer for refueling and a Vulcan to provide small repairs and help with refueling if needed. Also, I included an SRV and a Cutlass Red in case any of the ships sustains major damage and needs to be towed back to port for repairs and injured crew needs medical attention. Of course, these ships don't need to be waiting in the area during the mining operation. They can be standing by in port and be called in as needed and also serve as multiple mining operations. You could also outsource these services to another org if your org is too small. Moving on, when you're doing something in a not fully secure area of space, you might want to have multiple layers of protection. So we have the fighters included with the mining teams to provide close protection. On top of that, I have also included the flight of vanguards to provide long-range security. Of course, you could use any longer-range combat ship instead of the vanguard. Their purpose is to patrol the wider perimeter of the mining operation and provide early warning. If the area is larger, you might want to increase the number of ships. Also, I included 2 terrapins for a similar purpose. The terrapins are supposed to be fairly stealthy and have powerful radars. My intention is to use them as airborne early warning and control systems. I can't think of any other ship that could do this, but if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Of course, if you feel like the area of space you're mining in is safe or there is enough security presence, you can consider not including these ships in your fleet, but you can never be too sure. And finally, if things do go completely wrong and your mining operation gets attacked, you should have a quick reaction force ready, with plenty of firepower to hold off the attack until your mining ships withdraw. So this is the fleet I picked for this purpose. Plenty of firepower and fighter cover, but pretty much any combination of combat ships that cover a wide range of roles will do. Also, you don't necessarily need to have a QRF for every mining operation. If your early warning system is working well, your mining ships should be able to withdraw in time during smaller attacks. A QRF would only be necessary if you get attacked by a major force trying to take control of the area. But this also means that you probably only need 1 QRF for multiple mining operations. And of course, you can outsource this to a mercenary group if you want. Now let's consider the economics of this. Mining will require some degree of logistical and combat support that will not generate direct income. But with proper scaling and minimizing your losses, you should be able to make this operation profitable. Though, at least at the start, while you're optimizing your fleet composition, your profits might not be that high. On the other hand, by refining on the spot using a dedicated ship, you're maximizing the time your mining ships are spending mining, which will further increase your profit. Along with this, volatile materials will be processed immediately after extraction, which will avoid losses. So your main concerns at the start will be finding the correct scale and ratio of your mining and support fleets and making sure your crews are proficient enough to avoid accidents and damage while maintaining speed. And that's it for tonight. What do you think? Is the Expanse a game changer? How would you build a mining fleet? Let me know in the comments, fly safe, and I will see you in the verse.